And hello everyone, I am back. It's so good to see you. Welcome everybody. What's up, Frank? Cody Bear's in the house. Chris, Robert. Yeah, so big shout out to Voodoo Val. Did an amazing job for her Photoshop Daily Creative Challenges. Were a lot of fun. And today's was a lot of fun as well. Sorry I'm not dressed up like she is, man. She's killing it. Doing such a good job. All right, so General Kenobi, you're being silly. But this is good. We're going to match color and lighting, and really we're going to create a whole scene in an hour. So this is a masterclass. So yeah, I'm not really holding back, if you don't mind. We're just going to jump into this and have a lot of fun. Hello, Victor. And yeah, I see you, Michelle, Killy as well. Awesome. So yeah, hopefully that is from the latest stream, so I may need to relaunch that. So yeah, let me share my screen really fast. So obviously here's just a lovely landscape scene. Khan, I see you out there on Facebook. Cool. All right. It's been a while, Bobby Orlando. Bobby, you're like, oh, this guy again. Really? This guy? What? So let's just go full screen with this. And yeah, we're going to do something in honor of Max. And this is a beautiful scene. By the way, you can get a lot of free stuff out there. And you can get free things not only from... Again, was doing some... Let's close all these crazy tabs. I was going through all sorts of things. But Adobe Stock, right? You can go to free right in here. And as long as it's set to free, search for landscape. We're going to do something I think is going to be fun. Landscape. And sure enough, here's all these free landscapes. You can also go to Unsplash, places like that. So that's where you get the assets. This one's actually even kind of nice as well. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to combine. This is gorgeous. This is gorgeous. A landscape scene. This I actually might need. And again, it says free, so don't worry the fact that it says license. So just click right there. Let's license this bad boy. And let's have some fun. I'm excited. I personally am excited about this. What I have in my head, I hope it's awesome. It might not be. I guess we'll see. But let's do this. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use Adobe Max, and I want to put the words Adobe Max within this scene, and I want to make it look like the words Max are made up of rocks and stuff like that. So that is the idea. Here it is. Here's the Max logo. I might 3D eyes this, if you will. So maybe I'll take this and we'll just do a quick extrude and bevel and give it a depth of like 200, right? So we're gonna make it kind of thick, and we'll just kind of adjust the angle because we want it to be just like, we want to give it a little bit of depth here. And again, I get that I'm doing this in Illustrator, but I also have dimension and things available at my disposal, right? So right away you notice I'm like kind of working with the lighting in here in Illustrator, which I really need to match up with the photo in Photoshop, which is coming from behind, which will be interesting. But I also have a couple other images as well. So Marsha, I love your term, Internet City. Welcome back to Internet City. So let's take a look at all these images, because that's just one of many that I have. So I would love to do a landscape, sort of natural landscape scene like I have here for these three, but we could also do sort of more of a cityscape as well. Like this one is pretty strong. So anyways, that's just a couple different options we're going to go with. We're going to start with this landscape scene. Just so you know, it's going to be this one here. Let's grab our text and drop it in there. Okay, so we can see the lights coming from behind, right? Actually, if you hold down the Option key, you should be able to click to bring it to the back. Let me see. Okay, apparently option doesn't move it to the back, but if you click right here, that moves it to the back of the object, right? So now we can have that light kind of coming from behind it, as you can see. We'll throw some perspective on this as well, if it helps our design, and maybe it won't, but that's okay. All right, we'll go with something like this. That's what we'll go with. We'll click OK. We'll take this. We'll copy it. Shoot, you know what we'll even do? We'll do this. Check this out. We can take this and bring this in a couple different ways. Let's do this. You ready for this? Object. Expand appearance. I get it. This is a Photoshop Masterclass. Don't hate me. Because I'm using Illustrator. But you know what? Chances are you're going to be using different apps as well. Okay, so I have the front of this text. I'm going to take it. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go into Photoshop and I'm paste it in. I'm going to paste it in as a shape layer, right? We're going to see what happens. Click right there. This is just a shape-based layer, so we could still manipulate all these points if we want to. All right, so there that is. We'll go back out to Illustrator and we'll grab the second half. So we'll cut this, paste it on top, and then let's take these pieces, right, and paste this in as a shape layer as well. Okay, we can double click, change the color, right? We can see what's happening there. Let's line it up. How's everybody doing this fine? This fine. What day is it? Friday? Heck yeah, it's Friday. Okay, good. Michelle, you like it when I use Illustrator along with other programs with Photoshop? I agree 100%. And this is just one way of doing things. So I have now these two shape layers. They're both max layers. So this is the max, sides, right? And I can start to take some of this landscape, Command J, and drop it in here. So this is just something quick I'm going to do. I'm going to take this, Command T, flip vertical, right? There we have that. And again, we really haven't matched any lighting here, but we're still making something kind of cool. Flip vertical. We'll move this around a little bit, right? And here's just kind of the start of hopefully something pretty cool. We have max. Scale it up, maybe 120. Boom. Hope you guys don't mind. I'm just kind of like playing around and getting you hopefully excited about Adobe Max coming next week. Right, there we are. There's our lovely Max logo. Done and done. Saving this as Max. All right. Oh, cool. I did not know that as well. General Kenobi. Premiere Rush comes free as part of your Max subscription for Photoshop. Let's change the size to about 800. 8,000. And there we have that. All right, we're gonna play with this some more. This was just the quick and dirty design. Oh yeah. That's some good stuff. There we go. Let's brighten it up a little bit. Bam! Done. Okay. It's really about making everything look like it's part of the same scene. Chris, you are too kind. I agree. Andrew, what's up, buddy? I see you out there on Facebook. Awesome. Naomi, good to see you. Okay, so here this is. I'm going to take a couple of photos and just show you how you can color match them since it is part of the description that I'm talking about. Okay. jump out here. Let's change this to images. We're going to search for... Wait for it. Blimp. Give me a photo. And we're going to grab this one right here and make this fast. Well, I like some of these others also that looks like they don't have anything on them. This one's nice. This is going to be really tough to match, just so you know, kind of based on how where the lighting is already coming from, because you can clearly tell. So let's just grab a couple of these images. There we are. Here's our image. We'll go to our properties panel, remove background, shabam, magically removes the background, and we can put it as part of another scene. So we'll drop it right over here. Here we go. So here's one photo that clearly is not looking that good. Doesn't look like it's really part of this photo. Okay, so how can we correct that? I'm just going to apply that layer mask directly to the blimp. Easiest way to do this, honestly, is just to go out to layer, image adjustments for that layer, image adjustments, and then match color. All right, so that's what we're going to do really fast. I usually start with things easy and then see if that doesn't work. Hey, I either clean it up and make it right, or I actually jump out and do it an entirely different way. I'm going to show you both. Oh, the humanity. I see what you're saying, Steve. I don't know, our blimps have such like a negative connotation to them these days. Let's jump in here for this particular file that I'm on, and let's just undo this, because I'm realizing we did not get all of this. It's going so fast. I did not quite get all of it. Okay. Let's try this. Because this is probably one of the few cases where we could try this content aware tracing tool. Right? Content aware tracing tool. It's actually going to recognize, and this is a technology preview, but it actually recognizes the line. So it says, hey, I'll turn this into a path for you, Paul, if you want. Bam! Turns it into a path. Sorry, the path is blue. We'll click again. So right over here, it's just tracing that path. We'll click right here. Ooh, what is it? It should actually let me, let's drag that up there. Click. Again, it's kind of conflicting with these other lines. So I can grab this point just to get past that, the troublesome line there, and click again. And at any point, if I decide I want to switch to just the regular old pen tool, I could do that. Because chances are that's what everybody's thinking. You're all thinking like, just use the darn pen tool, Paul. Okay, I'll use it. Fast and loose with this. Oh, you're getting bang for your buck today, because I'm not only showing you kind of how to cut out things, but how you can cut out this blimp for it, which is a perfect example of something that has a lot of hard edges, a lot of curves, but also has these various lines that I'm going to have to deal with as well. We keep the flag on there or not. No offense, just Adobe Max is international, and I'm making this blimp for Adobe Max. There we go. I made that path. I could select that work path and save it, by the way. Select it, save this path for later. But there's my selection. Right? Mask it out. And there we have it. But now we need to clean up all of this, right? So I just use that path. I turn that path into a selection, double click, and then I turn that selection into a mask. And now we're in here and we can go ahead and just clean this up. Yeah, just use that refine edge tool to get all this junk. It's like, you know what? Just get all this junk for me, please. Because I don't have time for that. You guys demand to be entertained. So let's just use that and remove that like so. You can always switch to the brush, hold down the Option key, remove that line right there. And even some of these other parts, if we decide we want to kind of clean it up like so, click OK, call it a day. All right. Usually rubber band is on. Oh, that's a good question. Thank you so much for bringing that up, Umar. So is it not on? Pen tool, right up here at the top, click right here, rubber band. I don't know how that got deselected, but I do usually have that turned on. And what that allows you to do, as Umar knows all too well, lets you kind of forecast the line where it's going to go next, right? So yeah, I don't know why that wasn't turned on. It's funny that I didn't even notice it, which again, fascinating. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Okay, so anyways, we have that all cleaned up and looks better, and now it's not going to bother you guys. We're going to make this a little larger. We'll throw max, the word max on here, and we'll bend it to our wheel. Right? Jump out here, grab this. Maybe make it white. Paste it in. And this time I'll paste it in. I could do a shape layer, but I'm going to just do a smart object. Okay, so I can always edit this back into in Illustrator, right? Next question is like, how do we drop this on this particular blimp? Let's do that. Command T, right click. Oh, hello. Ooh, interesting. Okay, you ready for this? Convert. All right, you ready? This is a masterclass, right? I pasted this in. This is a vector smart object, as it says right up here. So I pasted it in as a vector smart object, and then I'm realizing when I go to select warp, it's not going to be available for vector smart objects. And you're like, that's so annoying. What do? You might consider rasterizing it, which we typically don't want to rasterize. All we need to do is take that object, this vector smart object, and then put it inside of just a regular smart object. So there is a difference between a vector smart object and a sort of pixel-based smart object. Okay, I could show you the difference. One's an Illustrator file, one is a Photoshop file. So again, I've converted it to a regular smart object, which is technically a PSB for Photoshop Big. So if I double click on it now, it says that it's a PSB. It's a Photoshop Big file, right? But here's the vector smart object inside of it. Watch what happens if I double click on this. Provided it's not set up, because I'm running all these beta versions of stuff, but usually it opens up in Illustrator. So anyway, that's all. Hopefully that's helpful. We'll go into warp, we'll warp this, get that up there, get that there, get that here, bring this down. Zoop. Get it going. Get your act together. That's what I'm doing here. Sorry to ignore chat. Yeah, so if something isn't selectable in your layers panel, then just convert it to, say, a smart object or whatever you need to. Try a smart object first, if that helps you. This is really bendy, huh? It's so bendy. But boy, that looks a little funky, huh? Looks a little bendy and a little funky. But you get the idea. There you go. We'll just hit enter. Call it a day. Yes, Rick. Wouldn't owners be a little antsy when somebody distorts their word mark? Yes, you do have to get this stuff by branding. Right? Or you just ask for forgiveness. After the fact. There we go. Okay, so let's just merge these layers. I'm getting back down to what I wanted to get into. Blimp. I'm going to save this layer. This is just going to be called landscape. We'll go to, again, this is the quickest way of doing things. Go into replace color underneath image. Oh, did I say replace color? Not replace color. Match color. Match color will load. We could also use replace color when we need to. Select the current source document, and then we want to select the background. So you could steal colors from it. I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. Sure enough, yeah, it does steal a lot of colors. Steals all those cool tones for it, right? And then we can adjust the color intensity or how much it fades with the original Blimp. So I'm going to scale up the fading so it still has that nice warm tint from the just from the Blimp. And there we have that. And let's just do this really fast. Command J. Quick selection. Object selection tool. Grab this ridge. There we are, mask it. So anytime I try to like put something as part of another scene, I try to do these convincing, hopefully kind of little convincing little tips and tricks by making sure I have something in the foreground. So it looks like it's just part of the same scene, right? So again, just if I put that there, does that sell it more for me? Let's turn that into a smart object, which I like to do, right? Does that kind of work? It's okay. All I was doing is showing you match color. Let's move on with the rest of our lives, okay? All right, so we did that. I'm okay with it. I want to have some more fun with the text. With the Max logo. Let's peruse our photos. We're back into this one. Which again, it's not bad. It's maybe not as majestic as I'd like it to be. Go back to Illustrator, copy that, paste it in. All right. Oh, this one's super cool too. Okay, you ready for this? Some rivets would be fun. Jurgen, hello, Jurgen. All right, let's have some fun with this. There's this one. I like this a lot. Okay. Are you ready, folks? You ready for this? I want to make this larger first off. I need to give this space because I'm going to put the Max logo right up here. Okay? Max logo is going to be kind of floating in the sky, and I'm going to do some cool things with it. So take this, and this is what I'll typically try to see, just like what happens. We'll do canvas size. We're going to make this larger. We're going to make sure the height and the width are the same. There we go. We could do a content aware scale. Again, I'll try this and just see what this gets me. This is what content aware scale does. It tries to maintain the proportions of everything while duplicating the more organic, or the items that have less structure, right? So that doesn't work out too well. So I can see it stretching the building, but I typically will try that just to see what that does. Another thing you can do is you can say, hey, you know what? I'll do this for a couple reasons. We'll do sky replacement on this image. It's going to go through, going to replace that sky, but it only does it so far from here down, which again, doesn't do me a lot of favors. Let's go try this. Take this, grab this, stretch it out, Command T, hold down the Shift key, stretch it up, boom, like that. And now we have more of a sky. So now I could use sky replacement on this. Command J. Sky replacement. Get rid of your ugly, crazy sky that you're working with, Paul, and drop in a new one that actually will be a size that will work. Even something like that might be okay. Ooh, this is the one I want right here. If you're curious, you can grab more skies, and this is fairly new, maybe a month and a half old, 2 months old. But you can grab new skies. Oh, here we go. Get more skies right here. Use that flyout menu. Get more skies. That's where you're going to be able to download a bunch of .sky files. So you could really add a ton of skies, either that you have on your hard drive or come from another place. Okay, but I'm going to go with this one just for the sake of time. I'm going to click OK, right? Because even if I don't want it, everything's in layers, and I could just easily like replace this sky if I want to later on. Okay. All right, let's go back in. We have our Max logo. Let's get to work, Paul. You don't have time to mess around. Grab a lot of this. What we're going to do is we're going to make it look like this is made up of a bunch of buildings. Okay? Let's move it up even higher. Let's first take this. Welcome to Photoshop work, huh? It's like literally just clicking around, putting on some good music, provided by Chill Hop Records. This is a song called Break Even. Thank you, royalty-free music. Oh yeah, this is a nice one. Take this big swath of buildings right here. How's everyone doing today? Turning your world upside down. I'd like to know, am I like one of the... Do you guys use the quick selection tool a lot? I tend to use it a lot. You know why? Because it has the word quick in it, which makes it so easy. And I also know that I'm not going to need a lot of detail for this. If you hold down your Option key, click, it will remove what you had selected, because oftentimes you're actually selecting the background and not the subject itself, it seems. So we have that. We have a little bit of haloing going on there. We could always choke that a little bit more by shifting the edge in, right? So I'm just shifting in that edge a little bit in my selected mask. It's going to grab some more of those pixels. We'll click OK. There's that. Okay, so far so good. Triple espresso. You are going to get so much done today, Steve. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Okay. I personally like the idea. Let me just make sure I have enough buildings. Let's kind of check down here. This one's cool. Let's grab a couple more. And I'm checking the time. Oh, good. I still have 20 minutes. Good, good, good. Command. Okay, so here's another. And again, I'm glad you guys are here. These are pro tips. If you do a Command J with a selection, Command J will duplicate a layer. It's only going to duplicate what you have selected. It doesn't get everything. So you're like, how can I basically... So this is what I would do. So rather than... This is not what I want because it's getting rid of all those pixels. What I'd rather do is come down here and just hit this. Or drag this down and duplicate it. That keeps your selection. I wonder if I hold down the Shift key and do that. Or the Option key. Probably not going to give me, it's going to give me a pop-up, watch. Yep. Anyways, so basically what I'm saying is even with the selection, you're going to be able to duplicate that layer and then add a layer mask to it. I don't know. I thought that was kind of a big deal for me. Okay, here we go. Let's fill it up and let's make sure we have this at a good size. Right, Max is huge. Another thing you guys are probably thinking, and it would be smart for you to think this, we're pushing around a lot of pixels. You might want to consider actually using 3D. So I would actually throw this into Dimension or a 3D program and then map building, like a building texture to it, right? So that's sort of the next step. Or just another option. So here's this building, let's take it. And all we need to do is start filling it into place. The good thing is we could flip this stuff upside down. Shoot, I will maybe make that a smart object. Here's another, again, I think I'm full of tips today. here's the thing, Command T. If I do a Command T on this, this bounding box is so huge because of this layer mask. It gives me this whole bounding box, right? All these pixels, all this stuff. I don't like that because I really just want to be able to scale down these buildings, right? So rather than doing that, just, again, throw it into a smart object. Convert to smart object. Command T. Now we'll do a Command T on it. Oh, thank you very much. So much easier. Sokovia. Oh, yeah. From, I'm gonna, might sound stupid in saying this, but like, I don't know if Sokovia is a real, I assume it's not a real place. I don't think Sokovia is a real place. It's just a Marvel made up location. But correct me if I'm wrong, Steve. Second thing I want to say about that is I tweeted something out yesterday. It's like Marvel character or font. And it was a quiz. You had to guess if Proxima Nova is a Marvel character or a font. I'll let you guys answer that. Proxima Nova. Marvel character or font. From there I can scale this down, get this into place, and do everything. Yeah, it was a fun quiz, huh? I thought so. Thank you. Made Up City. Oh, Chris took the quiz. Boom. Susan Wilson nailed it. What threw me off is I think there's a Marvel character named Proxima Midnight. Am I wrong? I don't know. I think there's a Proxima Midnight. Anyways, I got that wrong. I only got 15 out of 20, which I was kind of like, these are two of my favorite subjects. You think I would do better, but I also didn't spend too much time on it either. So I was like, okay, fine. But it was certainly a lot of fun. Again, just a shout out to my Twitter. Shameless self-promo. There's our buildings. Smart object. That one I don't even need. Maybe I'll cut it up some more. Just some pieces of this. There you have it. Boom. Okay, I'm going to try to make this move a lot faster. Now that I have this roughly set up. All right. You only know time. Jurgen, you know more than just Times New Roman. Okay, Mohammed, good question. I'm using Photoshop. Good question. Okay, so here's the problem, is I'm going to have all this empty space. Like, I don't want to see the white, right, through the buildings, right? Let me think about this. All right, I thought about it. You ready for this? I'm going to see if this works. So what most people would do is they would turn this into a selection. Command click on that layer, right? Turning it into a selection, making a new layer group, and then adding this layer mask to this layer group. So now we have our max layer mask, and then we can start putting everything in there. That's one way of doing things. I also want to show you another way. So again, we'll put everything in there. Right now we don't see that white showing through, and I can start to move this content around. So that's ultimately what I want. It's also an easier way. And this will come together much quicker now that I have some of this set up. Just putting these buildings inside, converting them to smart objects. And I'm going to do something else. Let's turn that into a selection. No, let's not turn that into a selection. Let's take this. Let's try. I'm going to try this really fast. So first off, we need a vector shape. Copy this vector shape from Illustrator. I'm going to paste it into Photoshop as a shape layer. Here's my shape layer. Scale it down. Here are all the pieces. Let me make sure I scaled that down right. Yep, it's constrained. Now, with this shape selected, I'll go to this folder. We'll go to layer. Might have to turn this into a new path. Oh, dang it. So sorry, that did not work. Did not have it selected. Because I switched layers. That's the problem. Okay, right up here, select this. Let's try this. Okay, so I just spent a lot of time. So ultimately, I created a path, saved the path. Now I can go to vector mask and I can turn that into a current path. And let's delete this layer mask. Turn this off. Boom. Okay, so guess what I magically did? You ready for this, Steve and Muhammad and everyone? I'm so sorry. I need to be able to change the color of the path because it's kind of hard to see. I need to be able to change this path right in here. Just so you guys can see it. But nonetheless, I just created this, there we go. It's basically a vector mask now, so I can manipulate it later on. That's all I did, right? Because since it's a vector path, I just want to be able to manipulate it later on. That's all. Sorry, hopefully that was like a long way of just, you know, took me a while to say one thing. Okay, here's something else I need to work on. I need to add more buildings. Jameson, you might know where I'm going with some of this. Yes, the skull and flowers. So everybody gives me a hard time about using a lot of skulls and flowers. So Jasmine, I get it. I had a lot of people like give me a hard time about it. So I sometimes shy. I don't know. I get. Let's just Instagram. Yes, it might be a separate stream, but this is what you're talking about right in here. I can open up this. This ended up being more of an After Effects project, just so you know. But yeah, that's what I made earlier this week, and I was going to cover it today because that's what I talked about. I was going to show how to make it on Friday. So I'll open up that project to just show you how it was built as I work on this. Again, just a shout out to Photoshop and Max and After Effects. So while that's opening up, I'll kind of work on this. And what I was just talking about is, again, using stock imagery, right? Now that we just need to add a bunch of buildings, we can type in buildings. I'm using this panel called Free Stock Search to Pro. Upgraded the Pro version so I can download the high-res images. But right in here, this is where we have a bunch of gorgeous buildings that are going to work out great for my project. Click right there, right? And this is, again, where matching is going to come into play. This is easily going to be an example where we could try just this quick and easy button, which is remove background. Boom, there it is. Shabam. And then we'll drop this into our project that we're working on. By the way, we'll save this. Max desktop. Okay, so that's typically what I would do, is I would jump out. I would use those, you know, free resources. To find the imagery that I want. But honestly, like, depending on where you're at, let's take this. There it is. Here's all these lovely buildings. Convert it to a smart object, Command T, scale it down, you know, shove it into place. All right, that's what we're doing right now. Just shove it in there. This actually starts to look more like the A, so this is going to be good to drop in here and scale it so it fits more of that A profile. Possibly. Okay, cool. And yeah, I still want to make sure I'm answering questions. And hopefully it's okay I divert a little bit, because this goes right in line with matching color and lighting. And this is actually a project I started a while ago. So let's go out here and open this up. This is a pretty simplified version, right? But here is the original photo right here, and then these additional flowers that were added to it. Sorry, let's turn her back on. This is the original photo with something like this. Add a little burst behind her, and then added these additional flowers, right? That were all, like, I didn't do any of the lighting in Photoshop because I'm like, you know what? I'd rather use a 3D tool to make that happen. So I've actually used Dimension. Let's open up this file. Dropped the photo, hopefully, if everything's still there, dropped in the photo in the background, and then matched the lighting using actual lights. Oh, imagine that. Here it is. Right, so here it is. These lovely little flowers, which are probably maybe in nature. Oh, they're probably in my other Creative Cloud account. I apologize. But use these flowers. And by the way, there are also starter assets that you could use. So let's just grab something really quick, because the sphere is going to really be able to tell kind of like where the lighting is coming from. Here's this sphere. And then here are the lights. Looking for them, looking for them. Oh, here we go. Under environment, so here's some directional lights that were added. So if we take a look, we'll select any one of these. Here's the blue light, for instance, right? So there it is, there's the blue light, right? We can see me change the color to more of a red, right? So it's positioning that light so it's the same color as her shoulder, coming from the same direction, right? How do we change the direction? It's all in the rotation. So we'll just rotate it over there, splash it on these elements, and let's not forget that we have this additional directional light. Same concept. It's going to be sort of orange, right? Matching this side of her, coming from that direction as well. Kind of moving that over there like that, and then rendering it out. Cool. So that's how this was roughly put together. Added a skeleton, added some lovely blend modes to it as well. So there's the skeleton. You know, one side of the face has different blend modes than, say, the other side, or one skull has a different blend mode than the other. Why'd I choose a dimension over stager? It honestly doesn't really matter. Like, whatever you have access to. So no reason. You know, if you have access to stager, use stager over dimension. I have two different Adobe accounts, and everything's kind of a mess between the two. So I actually do not have stager on this I might have stager actually on it, but whatever you have access to works the same way. Stager is going to give you more flexibility, right? So again, we could always open that up, but that's how this is set up. So we could see this skull. Let's take a look at this one. Maybe it's this one right here. See that one right here? That's that darken blend mode. See, just kind of go in and play with the blend modes. It could have even used lighten. Look at that. I like how it brings out more of that blue on the side of the face. Okay. So you take that, you say, hey, okay, that looks good. Now let's just go ahead and import it into After Effects. Let me quit Stager. We're not going to worry about Stager. I literally have 5 minutes left. But I have to open up this file. One file's missing. Couple. Wrong. Oh, it's in here. It's in here. Not to worry. Literally take that PSD and bring it right into After Effects. And then I said, hey, you know, since this is going to be video, let's replace some of those dormant flowers that are just boring and dead with some video, right? So this is a video of just some lilies opening up, right? So take that, key it out, keyed out, and I didn't even worry about it too much because it's already going to be on black. So I'm like, yeah, there's some holes there. It's not going to show up. And then drop it into place. So if we take a look at those lily flowers, here's where they are, right? In After Effects, After Effects works similar to Photoshop in terms of all of its fun effects, because you could see I had to tint the flowers, right? So I tinted the flowers, looks like yellow, to make sure it matches that scene, right? And I could have even tinted it maybe a little bit of blue. Time for 3 more projects. That's right, Tim. So again, just drop that in there and we can see those flowers open up. Right? The cool thing is like a lot of this, even a lot of these other flowers down here, are being morphed and manipulated using, let me see if I can find it, using Puppet Warp. So you guys are getting like a lot of bang for your buck today, I'd say. Because like, you know, you learn something in After Effects or Photoshop, it just carries right over. So these flowers right here, let's focus on these ones. These ones, well, they're, you know, I can't replace everything with video, but I can certainly bend this around, and that's what's happening right in here, using what is called Puppet Warp. So look, these little points, hold on, wait for it, let's just zoom out here, Puppet Tool, there we go. Used Puppet Warp to morph and manipulate this as if it's like blooming. So that's what's happening there, right? So we know how that's done. We're using Puppet Warp. We're adding some tint. We're replacing still images with video. We're adding other effects that I don't have time to get into. But, you know, and then you end up with what you saw on Instagram. If we carry that over to Photoshop, it's all very similar. And let's just grab this. Since we're dealing with color matching, I'll kind of finish up on this. We'll throw one more flower in here since I want to be kind of true to the title of this. Let's grab this branch, for instance. drop it in here, and everything's typically done with adjustment layers, right? So we could throw an adjustment layer that has levels on it. And I can throw something, rather than doing a tint, throw a photo filter. Throw that photo filter on top of just the branch. And that photo filter is going to give it that yellow tone, right? So between levels and photo filter seems to do its job. Cool. You get the idea. Gosh, there's never enough time. Darn it. There's never enough time. And lastly, we want to use Puppet Warp with it. Right over here, Puppet Warp. Bingo. Bam, bam. Morph it into place. And then animate this doing its thing. So you guys get the idea. I know that's a lot. I know I didn't finish my projects, but I do hope you guys join me for Max. That'd be fantastic. Follow me on all the socials. Will be awesome as well. And thanks for hanging out with me. You guys are awesome. Susan, everybody's too kind. But I'll see you guys later. And yeah, see you at Max next week. So exciting. See ya.